My name is Aaron Hale. I was a survey tech for the Frontier Coalition. My job was simple: land on a new world, map the terrain, tag mineral sites, send the data home. I had done it 12 times before. The planet was catalogued as Kora V thin air, wide plains, forests of tall silver grass. No sign of advanced life. That last part was wrong. The storm hit without warning. My shuttle lost power and dropped like a stone. I managed a rough landing near a ridge of black rock. The hull cracked but did not split. I grabbed my pack, an emergency beacon, and stepped into the wind. The silver grass moved like waves. The sky glowed faint purple. Lightning flashed in silence. Then the ground shook. At first I thought it was thunder. Then I saw the shadow pass over me. I looked up. She was taller than the ridge. Skin like warm bronze. Hair the color of dark copper. Eyes bright gold. She wore a simple wrap made of woven fibers. It hung to her knees, which were still far above my head. She saw me at once. Her shadow covered me. Her face lowered. Her breath rushed over me like wind from a cave. I froze. She did not crush me. She did not roar. She simply stared. Then she spoke. The words were strange, but my translator caught the rhythm. Her voice was deep and smooth. You are small. You fell from the sky. I nodded. My throat was dry. She crouched. The ground shook again. Her face came close. I was larger than my whole body. I am called Lyara, she said. You are trapped here. I looked back at my broken shuttle. She was right. The storm grew stronger. She glanced at the clouds. Her expression changed. Something tense flickered across her features. You cannot survive the night, she said. Come. She lifted her hand. It was the size of a transport ship. I hesitated only a second. The wind nearly knocked me down. I stepped into her palm. Her skin was warm. The lines of her hand formed valleys beneath my boots. She lifted me with care and rose to her full height. The world dropped away. From her shoulder I could see miles of silver plains. She walked toward the ridge and beyond it. Each step covered more ground than I could run in a minute. The storm rolled behind us. After a long walk, she reached a valley ringed by stone cliffs. In the center stood a structure carved into the rock. It looked ancient. Smooth walls, wide archway, her home. She stepped inside. The air was warmer there. Soft blue light glowed from crystals in the walls. She set me down on a flat stone table. You are safe here, she said. I swallowed. Thank you. Her eyes narrowed slightly as she studied me. She paced once across the chamber. I felt the vibration through the stone. Something was wrong. She pressed a hand to her chest. Her breathing deepened. I must tell you, she said slowly. My body is in heat. My translator paused on the phrase. Then it clarified. A reproductive cycle. Heightened hormones. Increased aggression. Strong instinct to claim territory and mate. My pulse spiked. She saw the fear in my face and frowned. I will not harm you, she said. But my mind is clouded. It makes me restless. It makes me want to chase, to hold, to keep. She knelt close again. Her gaze softened. I found you alone in the storm. That matters to me. I took a slow breath. Panic would not help. How long does it last? I asked. 3 days, she said. 3 days, trapped in a stone chamber, with a giantess driven by instinct. I force myself to think like a survey tech, assess risk, find tools, adapt. Is there food? I asked. She blinked. The simple question seemed to steady her. Yes. She moved to a side alcove and returned with fruit the size of cargo pods. She sliced a small piece with a stone blade and placed it near me. The cut section was still larger than my torso. I carved off smaller bites with my field knife. She watched me eat with quiet focus. The hours passed slowly. Outside, the storm raged. Inside the chamber, it was calm but tense. Liara paced often. Her movements were restless. At times, she would sit and close her eyes as if fighting an urge. Once her hand hovered over me as I slept near the table edge. She pulled it back at the last moment. The second day was harder. Her voice grew rougher. She spoke in shorter phrases. She circled me like a guardian and a predator at once. I feel the pull, she admitted. It tells me you are mine because you are here. I met her gaze. I am not prey. I know, she said at once. That is why this is difficult. She pressed her forehead lightly to the stone near me. The contact made a dull echo. I have never met one of your kind, she said. I do not wish to harm you, but my instincts shout. I stood slowly and stepped closer to her face. Fear still lingered, but I saw something else in her eyes. Loneliness. Then fight them, I said gently. You are more than instinct. She went still. For a long moment, neither of us moved. Then she laughed softly. The sound rolled through the chamber like distant drums. You are brave for something so small, she said. I shook my head. I am scared, but I trust you. Those words changed something. She shifted back and sat cross-legged. The ground dipped under her weight. She told me about her people. They once lived across the plains in great stone cities. Now she was alone. The others had left generations ago to seek another world. She had chosen to stay as a guardian of the old lands. I thought I would never speak to another mind again, she said. I told her about Earth, about crowded cities and open oceans, about the coalition and the endless search for new homes. As we spoke, her breathing slowed. The sharp edge in her eyes softened. Night fell again beyond the stone walls. Near dawn on the third day, the storm ended. Pale light filtered through the entrance. Liara stood and walked to the archway. I followed as far as I dared. She looked back at me. The heat fades, she said quietly. The storm inside me is passing. Relief washed through me so fast, my knees almost gave out. She stepped outside. The plains glittered with rain. The silver grass shone in the sunrise. I joined her at the threshold. The world felt new. My shuttle is damaged, I said, but my beacon still works. A rescue team will come. She nodded. You will leave, she said. It was not a question. Yes. Silence stretched between us. This time it was not tense. It was heavy with something else. You saved my life, I said. You trusted me, she replied. A distant hum cut through the air. I looked up. A coalition dropship streaked across the sky. They had tracked the beacon. Liara stepped back from the open plain. She seemed suddenly aware of her size again, of how my people might react. I will remain hidden, she said. Your kind may not understand. I hesitated. They will, I said, or they will learn. The dropship descended near the wreck of my shuttle. Dust rose in a wide cloud. I turned back to Liara. Will you come with me to speak to them? She studied my face, searching for doubt. You would stand beside me? She asked. Yes. For a second I saw a flicker of the earlier fire in her eyes. Not hunger. Pride. She straightened to her full height and stepped into the open. The rescue team poured from the ship, weapons raised at first, then lowered as they saw me wave from Lyra's palm. I stood in her hand again, not as a captive, as a bridge. Stand down, I called, overcomes. She is not hostile. The team leader stared up in shock. Lyra spoke in a steady, calm voice. My translator carried her words. I am Lyra of Kora V. I protected your explorer during my season of heat. I seek no conflict. There was a long pause. Then the team leader nodded slowly. We come in peace, he said. Hours later, I sat inside the dropship while engineers examined Lyra from a respectful distance. She answered questions with patience. The tension was gone from her posture. When it was time to leave, I faced her once more at the edge of the landing zone. The plains stretched endless behind her. You could come with us, I said. See other worlds. She smiled faintly. My duty is here. But now I know I am not alone in the universe. I felt that truth settle deep inside me. I will return, I said. I will watch the skies, she replied. The ramp closed. The ship lifted. Through the viewport I saw her grow smaller only because we rose higher. She stood tall in the silver field, a guardian in the morning light. 3 days earlier I had thought I was trapped with a giantess driven by instinct. I believed it was already too late. I was wrong. I was not trapped with a monster. I was sheltered by a lonely sentinel fighting her own storm. When we broke atmosphere, I sent the full report to the coalition, not just about mineral deposits or climate data. I wrote about Lyra, about her restraint, about trust. Kora V was no longer an empty world. It was a place where a human and a giantess chose, understanding over fear, and that changed everything. Asterisk.